Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're good. Bloody cold, isn't it? I'm still here in my corner, shivering away. It's not warm in here. Well, apparently it's Antarctica Day, and it feels like it, doesn't it? It does. Get eating on. I know. It's not cheap, is it? But yeah, get eating on. Right, I've been busy awake last couple of days, so I'm not really going to look back at anything. I gather maybe Ilite Tom would be one for maybe the Arkle or the Turners. Maybe he'll be like backup for the special one in the Arkle, I don't know. But I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. He's not an horse I've ever been in love with, to be fair. He's got all headgear, hasn't he, and all that. But I don't know, maybe he were good yesterday. It sounds like he were pretty good, to be fair, but I haven't seen it. Right, we're going to have a look at the weekend's racing, and we've got a 20 to 1 top up for Cheltenham and a 50 to 1 for Cheltenham as well. So, yeah, fair bit there. Jerry, apologies for that. Wow. I checked the price, as I said, I checked the price just before I started recording. Took, finished that, started uploading it, made a cup, sat down, and I thought, it'll probably be eights now. I thought I'll just check the price. Fives. Fives. In an hour and a half, the price just, in that hour and a half, it just crashed. So, we'll not count him in our ante-post book because, if there's anybody that does particularly follow me at all, you had no chance to get on at tens or eights there. Might not run yet, like I say, it'll be 50-50. I think it'll come down to the ground. And it is starting to dry up now. So we need the weather to play that week. But yeah, so we'll not count him anyway. Right, today, Friday, not really going to cover today too much. You've probably seen it all. But the big horse for me anyway running today would be this Jericho in the maiden hurdle. I was that close to putting this fella up a couple of weeks back there. Saw you were down to run today. Thought we might have a point on him. He was 20s, 25s, mostly 20s, and I thought, well, might be 20s, 16s now. He's fucking 12s. Wow. So, gonna let him go. Gonna let him go. I kind of feel like he's probably gonna win by half at track, and he'll be like 5, 6s. But we've already got 2 points on Mirazor, haven't we? And I don't want to be back in 2 or 3 horses for these races before we've even seen him run, So we'll deal with it Supreme later anyway. It's, to be fair, it's not an hard race to solve Supreme. You want Nicky's horse on his side, which might well be this fella. Willie will probably win. He'll win that grade one at the DRF. He'll win the Moscow Flyer. One of them will go Ballymore, one will go Supreme. And it's just, if you can get any of them horses before that, then you're onto a good thing. But say a few years back now it were, but I ended up backing like 6 horses for this race and didn't get close with him. So I don't want to go down that road again. Saturday, Newcastle, 155, 2 mile, grade 1, fighting fifth, Constitution Hill. Yeah, he's back, hopefully. So biggest danger to him is the frost, isn't it? So, hopefully the weather will play along this week and we'll get to see all these horses. If you lost Newcastle, for me, out of the meetings, the one I want most is Fairy House. I think that's a cracking 2-day meeting, that. Followed by Newbury and then Newcastle. Could live without seeing Newcastle card light, but yeah, I mean, if he's the same as he were, he just wins this, doesn't he? He's just a joy to watch now. Just enjoy watching this horse. Interestingly, Love Envoy and You Wear It Well line up here, and I'll be kind of just interested to see how they measure up against each other. I think You Wear It Well's nearly twice the price of Love Envoy, so it did cross my mind to look in the wee out markets and maybe. But then you're thinking, like, she likes to be on the pace, doesn't she? So at some point, Constitution Hill's going to cruise up there at Cider, and if she tries to go with him, she could pay the price for that. So I thought, well, we'll leave that. There's plenty of other opportunities this weekend. 305 3-mile rehearsal chase, Shishkin. This is not a race. I'd say I've been busy away the last couple of days, but I looked. I think you were like 7-4 and 8-1 bar or something, and you feel like kind of compelled, if you consider yourself any serious, half serious punter, to take him on. But I've not looked at the race yet, so we'll leave that one for now. Newbury Saturday, 140, 2.5 mile handicap hurdle. Jet powered runs in this for Nicky off an official rating of 131. Now he took this maiden hurdle last year, didn't he, that Jericho's running in today. And I thought I was really impressed with him that day. He moved like a class animal. He just oozed a bit of class. Then wheels fell off, didn't he? Came out disappointed, and we've not seen him since. But that horse we saw at this meeting last year, I'm sure is 150's horse. So I had a little play on him. There's a little bit of force still, I think, and even 7-2, if that's all he is now. Force, I thought it's fine. I thought, at that price, that's a fair enough price to hope the horse we saw first time up turns up, because if he does, he'll laugh at these, and if he don't, you lose. But it's not like he's 6-4, is it? So I think you're getting a fair enough price there to see if Nicky's got this fella back, because I think he's got the raw ability anyway to be a much better horse than a 131 horse. So he's a selection there. 2:15, 2 mile, Jerry Field and handicap hurdle. Nicky loves this race. Under controls in here. So 11-8, 6-4. Now normally I don't like, it's a kind of unwritten rule I have that I don't go under 3s in a handicap. I've kind of broke that rule for this horse. That form there with Iberico Lord, I just think it wins this. I think she just wins. She beat Iberico Lord half a length. Iberico Lord won the Great Wood off a £6 hour mark, and she's running it off a £9 hour mark. She should be taking this. I think she'll take this on the way to becoming like a mare's hurdle contender. It's a short price, so I won't go mental on it. You don't necessarily have more on just because they're a shorter price, but I think she's a bet anyway at the price, and hopefully she'll get a bit back for us there. Yeah, she's 137. I think she's off here. She's better than 137. 250, 3 mile 2, handicap chase, Hennessy, or the Corals chase, whatever. Fucking Hennessy, isn't it? Right, us ramblers, we're in a fair position here. We've got a point on this Monbeg Genius at 20 to 1. I think he's round about 8s now. You look at this race, he's there, 10 stone 6. He's got that Ultima form, which is gold plated, isn't it, with Correct Rambler and Faster Slow. Lost be a couple of legs to those horses. Clear it 4th. If he's on, he takes this. If he's on, and that's the if. That's the question, because I'm not quite sure. Firstly, I wouldn't be surprised if he don't go at all. They're giving it as good to soft, good in places. It was similar ground when they pulled him out at Scottish National. So we're not there yet with this horse. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled him out. The car crash here prep, didn't they? We talked about that. Wrong race to run him in. If he's on, he'll win this. He will. But I've kind of got a feeling he might not be on. I think John Joe's working back from the National with this horse. It might be kind of copy and paste Correct Rambler last year. This he could run a fair race here, come like 4th or 5th. Might not see this fella at his best until after the weights come out for it National. He's 147 now. I haven't looked, but I'd imagine that'll get him in. Alright, I know there's not so many now, is there? Yeah, I should have looked into that. 147, I don't know. I'd imagine he'll be in alright with that, but I don't think he has to go a penny. And if he doesn't, you might not see the best till after the weights come out for National. Like I say, copy and paste Correct Rambler. Could go on to Ultima, win that, and then go into National well in at the weights, because he's, if he runs a nice race here without winning, he's building up a beautiful profile for this Ultima. And he'd be unlucky to bump into horses as well handicapped as Correct Rambler and Fast or Slow this year. So we'll see. I mean, we've got a point at 20, so we've got him nicely covered there. All things considered, I thought we'll have another look at this race. Like I mentioned, the ground does seem to be drying out. They're getting it good to soft, good in places. I'm not sure how it's going to ride with these frost covers and stuff. Sometimes it can be a bit sticky. You're kind of guessing a little, but if you're taking it as it is, then that would maybe be against complete unknown. I know Paul keeps saying he wants rain for this horse. Maybe a little mile emission too, but in any case with mile emission, McConnell there, he's bang out, isn't he? He's bang out. He's gone 41 runners and 50 days without a winner. So that would be enough to put me off him. The horse I like for this, if Monbeg's not on here, and if he is, we're happy, but if he ain't, it's Midnight River. Yeah. Took a 3 mile handicap chase at Aintree last year. He's gone up £5 for that. Now, even last year, Dan Skelton won about this race, and I do like it. I do like him when he's, when he targets a race. He worked for Paul there, and Paul's the same. When you saw it with Stage Star, when he gets an horse bang on for a race. And like we saw with that Paddy Power race, you need to be bang on to win one of these fierce handicaps. And, you know, I know his horses haven't been flying, but it does seem to be the horse's first runs you want to avoid with him. Because it kind of put me off that Grey Dawn in last week, Skelton's form. But Grey Dawn had a run and he come out and then he won. And I thought he looked a cracking bet in that race, but I left him because of the Skelton thing. But he'd had a run, and this fella's had a run. He had a jog around there behind Gentleman's Game, didn't he? Dan will have him bang on for this. I think he's an horse that we're always going to improve this year. Do you know, physically, I think this would be his year. That real impression you got last year, the way they were talking about this horse, and from looking at this horse, he looks like a stayer. He ran around 2.5 mile a lot last year, just minding him really, I think, for this season. And I think Dan thinks he's going to have a big year with this horse this year. He's got Grade 1 entries. He's £5 higher than that win at Aintree, but I think this horse will improve more than £5 this year, and he's going to be bang on for this. He's a nice sort of price. It'll be like 10, 12 to 1. So, yeah. And a little bit on him. And just a little bit, I couldn't leave this fella alone, Dusart, at a big price. 20 to 1 plus, this Dusart, for Nicky again. He wants decent ground, he's got his ground, he needs to go left-handed, he's got that. This horse was always well regarded, and he's had his issues. I think he could put a line through last year. And it's just, there's a suspicion, if you're reading Nicky's trainer file here, a bit like Gordon were with American Mike, I think Nicky thinks he's got this fella back. And if he has, I think he's got the raw ability, this horse. I think he's a classy animal if he's got him right. And just at the prices there, yeah, just a bit of change, or just a smallish sort of bet on him as well. So there you go. We got Monbeg Genius in the bank at 20s. We'll have Midnight River and a small bit on Dusart, and that's our kind of Hennessy team there. Fairy House. This is a cracking 2-day meeting. This it is. Kind of went out of sequence on the notes here. So 11:45, 2 mile 5 beginners. I love these races. Do you know, these are so competitive, these beginners this time of year. I think they're my kind of favourite races, because it's exciting to see how these young horses, first run over fences. And it's so competitive, this race. It's, it could be a Grade 1 race, this, a graded race anyway, certainly. And, we've got Corbett's Cross here. I look at this race and I think you're going to see a big RSA contender coming out of this, maybe more than one. We've got Corbett's Cross there. I won't fall over if he wins this. He's clearly got some class about him. But saying that, I think he's been put in favourite. There's just one firm price this up. I think he were maybe 6 to 4 or something. I'm not sure. I didn't write it down, but pardon me. We saw the horse last time. He didn't jump well. In fact, he jumped poorly. And, although you wouldn't be surprised if he improved on that and took this, at the same time, you couldn't be backing him. Well, I couldn't anyway, because you just couldn't take it on trust until you've seen him do it. We've got Nick Rocket in here for Willie. It could be anything. Yeah, he could win this impressive. 3-card Brags always look to chase. You know, you wouldn't be surprised if he came out and won this well. I'd probably have a preference for Nick Rocket, but yeah, you know, it won't be a shock. The one I like though, is Monty's Star, and this fella's going to be a price. Like I say, the one firm price up. He's 17-2. They've put him in at. I'd be happy to take that. You know, I'd take a bit less than that, but that's nice. If you're going to get somewhere around 8-1 for this horse, I think he's a fair bet. I mean, like I say, you couldn't be confident because there's some good horses in here, isn't there? But I think he's a value bet anyway, put it that way. I think he's value at that sort of price. This horse really took my eye last season in the Grade 3 Mercedes-Benz, where he beat his better fancied stablemate Eden Valley Lake. You just look at this horse and he's all over Chaser, this horse. I remember saying to my dad last year, he's related to some good, not, I don't think it Manila Indo, but the one before in the same colours, and yeah, he just looks. I just kind of fell for him just looking at this horse. I just think, wow, when he goes over a fence, he's gonna improve a ton, like, you know, for a fence. I remember saying to my dad at the time, look, this horse might go to Cheltenham and pull up in Albert Bartlett, but if he does, whatever happens in Albert Bartlett, I'm going to have a bit on him for RSA, for Browns. And I didn't. He went to Cheltenham, he did pull up, and I didn't. But I looked today, just to see, and he's 50-1. It's 50-1. That's it. He's the 50-1. We'll have 1 point on him at 50-1 for the Browns. Now I know that makes it like 3 horses we back for each race in the Turners and Browns. It just is getting a little bit messy, I know, but I just can't let him go at 50s without backing him before he runs this weekend. He doesn't necessarily have to win, you know. For us, if he stays on nicely into second or third, you know, the bet's still very much alive. This is 2-5. It's going to be better at 3 mile. And he's just a born chaser, this fella. He could improve massively this season. He could. You know, a bit weak last year. He had a tough race in that race. I put a line through that Cheltenham run. Yeah, I really like this Monty Star, I do, and he's a price at 50-1. So yeah, we'll have a point on him. And he's the selection here. So then, going back, 12.50 Mile Maiden Hurdle. We get to see Ballyburn here. And it's not a penalty kick for him because he's got an horse to beat here, Five Fox. We like Five Fox. Ultimately, Five Fox is going to need further than 2 mile. But he sets a nice marker, doesn't he, to judge Ballyburn here. I'd expect the Ballyburn to put him away, and I expect he's not going to be backable either. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be getting 4-6 for this fella. I'd expect 1-2 or even a bit less than that. So, but it'd be great to see him anyway, and hopefully, say Paul's on him. If you remember, that's why I don't think we saw him at Cork last weekend. He's got Paul on him here, and his instructions is going to be just get this horse settled, teach him to race. And if he does, we're going to see some horse, I think. £1.25, 2.5 mile novice hurdle. And there's one I like here. Waterford Whispers. We've talked a little bit about him before, haven't we? Took my eye in a bumper, and he did it nicely this season in a 2 mile maiden, shaping very much like he'd improve plenty for a step up in trip. He gets that step up in trip here. He's got an extra half-mile, and I don't know why, but for some reason all the other sort of main contenders there you'd be looking at, he gets £10 off them all, which is a fair chunk, isn't it? I mean, Redstone, he may be the main danger, Gavin Cromwell's Redstone, but getting £10 off all them horses at the top, and the amount of improvement I think he's going to show. He's a nice horse. This kind of looks like a kind of listed race. A brilliant bit of placing this, I think, from Henry. I really like him getting that weight off those at the top. He's a nice horse, and yeah, he's a fairly confident selection. I think he'll be a good bet here, and he should be some sort of price. Yeah. Yeah, like him. That's Waterford Whispers. So on Sunday, and we'll just cover the grade ones. 3 grade ones for us on Sunday. It's nice, isn't it? 125, we got I ain't got the entries through, so I don't know the final decks yet, but I've gone through the grade ones anyway. Got the 125 2 mile grade 1 Royal Bond. Last year, Supreme winner took this. I don't think there's a Supreme winner in it this year. We've got Encanto Bruno in as the favourite. Ultimately, I think he's an handicapper. Might seem a bit harsh, but I do. The best horses in here, to me, are Henry's 2 he's got entered, Antuba and Slade Steel. Antuba looks a little raw to me, and I thought he were more Ballymore type, and I think Slade Steel might be more of a stayer too. So they are, I think, these grade 1 horses here, it's these, whichever one of these runs. But it wouldn't be a shock if, say, Encanto Bruno just didn't, in terms of, he might have a bit more pace, and he's a bit more streetwise and a bit more experienced, isn't he? But ultimately, come the end of the season, whatever Henry's runs in here will be the best horse, I'm fairly sure. And whatever Henry runs, I'll probably be playing in this race. But yeah, I won't fall over it if Encanto Bruno won this. But I think come the end of the season, Henry's will be the better horses. It's just if, yeah, like I said, Encanto Bruno's got like more experience, hasn't he? And maybe over 2 mile, I think these are the 2 want further ultimately. So, but I'd rather go with the best horse there. So I'll back whichever one of Henry's runs, I think. 2.5 mile grade 1 Drinmore. Founder 50, I think, runs here. This could be quite a small field. I think we're looking at Founder 50, let's be clear about it, Sharjah, and yeah, that horse that won the Irish National, and I just It physically hurts me to even say his name. It does. 25 to 1 in 14, so I had him in a double with 4-miler and Jerry for Gold Cup. I had him doubled up with Facile Vega 25s for 4-miler, Facile Vega 8s. But he's not going to be winning this anyway. So basically, you've got 3 horses here to be looking at. We've got Founder 50, Let's Be Clear About It, and Sharjah. Now, Founder 50, we talked plenty about him last time, and we backed him for the Turners, and he's the top up here. We're going to have another 2 points on Founder 50 at 20s for the Turners. Just on the prices there, Monty Star, it's 365, who's got the 50s, everybody else is 40s, but even 40s is alright. In fact, you can get, if you're on Betfair on the exchanges, there's 50s as well. This fella is 20s at, I think, Paddy's, Sky Bet and Betfair. I didn't check the exchange price. These 20s. And he's sort of 18, 16s everywhere else. So, you know, hopefully he can get you 20s there. We'll have another 2 points on him for Turners. And I've been looking at this Turners, you know, letting it soak in a bit. We spent a lot of time on Gaelic Warrior talking about him, didn't we? We had a good chat about him on Monday. And I think we've got to be against this Gaelic Warrior at Cheltenham. We have. So, like I mentioned then, Willie's got his own, he could have his own Turners. He's got that many horses. He's got Turners horses coming out of his ears. So we'll forget Willie, right? And you look at this market for this. You've got Gaelic Warrior, 11 to 4 best now. Second in's Vega, Facile Vega. Special one goes to the Arkle. I think third one in's in the pocket, Arkle. And then you get, it's 16 to 1 basically, bar Gaelic Warrior. It will come the day, it might not even be Willie's number 1. It depends how he goes at Fairy House. So Paul didn't ride him last year. Pair of Bass. But in any case, right, just forget Willie. You don't want to hurt your head too much at this stage trying to, you know, we've got Facile Vega, Arkle. The other ones, yeah, just save your head and don't try and work it out for now. But outside Willie, we've got this one of Gordon's, and he's following Gordon's tried and trusted path of, you know, he's done this with all his best novice chases for Turners. He goes Down Royal, Drinmore, you know. And he's so impressed me at Down Royal. He seems to have got a bit under the radar there. I think people are maybe struggling because, you know, to appreciate that horse can change so much from one season to another when they're so young. You know, they're physically developing at different rates, and I think this fella's turned inside out. I do. What I loved about him at Down Royal, like we mentioned before, last year he was quite a weak finisher, and he hit the line hard at Down Royal. He's got pace and he hits the line hard, and particularly on that new course on the Thursday and Friday, you want a horse that hits the line hard at Cheltenham. He's got a pace to travel and hit the line hard, and I think they're the qualities this horse has got. Now, regards this race on Sunday, right, I won't fall over if he got beat here. Sharjah's, you know, I think the small field, he's got high class hurdles for him. The ground, it's giving it a soft now. It may come down to the ground a bit, who his biggest rival is. On decent ground, you'd say Sharjah, and on softer ground, you'd say Let's Be Clear About It. And Let's Be Clear About It, I do like. I mean, he was like our first winner, weren't he, together? So he'll always have that, and I were impressed with him last time. You know, I'm not I'm not underrating him. He's a serious rival. I mean, well, he's favourite, isn't he? And you know, he's had the 2 runs over fences. Our fella's only had the 1. He's going straight from his sort of maiden novice beginners straight into this grade 1 here. I just, you see a horse and you just have to trust yourself, don't you? If he gets chinned here, as long as he runs a nice race, that Turners ticket's still alive. And I'm sure he's going to run a big race. I am. If he don't win this, he's going to run well. And if he does win this, that 20s, you'll be looking at single figures. This fellow will be like, maybe 7s or 8s for the Turners after this. I think this is Gordon's big novice chaser. I do. And I like him. So yeah, we'll top up on him, and he's the selection here as well. Yeah. Right then. Just the last race there, 2:35, 2.5 mile, grade 1's Hatton's Grace Hurdle. And here we get to see Impera Pass. Prices are seen at minute with like 4 to 6-ish. He'll be up against either Teapot or Irish thingy. Sorry, I forgot. The Irish thingy did run well in the Royal Bond last year. Teapot obviously won this race last year, so this is no penalty kick for Impera Pass. It isn't. But saying that, if State Man was here, you'd be all over State Man to be taking this. And if they think Impera Pass is up there with State Man, which presumably they do, otherwise he'd have been over fences, I'd have thought. If he's anywhere near State Man, he's got to be taking this. He has, and at 4 to 6, that's fair enough price. So I'd say 4 to 6 or better. Yeah, he's a bet. And to be fair, I think this horse is better at 2.5 than he is at 2. So I think this race will suit him beautifully. I do. If he can't beat these, forget Champion Hurdle. Just forget it. In fact, if you can't beat these, forget beating State Man, because State Man would beat these. I do like him, Impera Pass. They were all over him for Cheltenham last year, and he's got untold potential. I like him, and I expect to win this. He should be winning this. Yeah. And that is that. Nap. That's a toss-up between Waterford Whispers and Founder 50. That's a tough one. We'll make Waterford Whispers the nap. I think it'll win that. And yeah, Founder 50 won't be far behind. I think I like him. I do. Yeah. That's that. So let's hope the weather plays along anyway for us. It'd be a shame to lose these meetings. I'll be back Monday. We'll look back at it all. Also, we're on the 1st, aren't we? So we've got to do a monthly ante-post roundup as well. So Monday, it's definitely going to be 2 flasks, isn't it? We're going to have to look back on all this. And we've got an ante-post roundup as well. Right. All the best then. I hope you find some winners. It should be good. There's some brilliant racing, hopefully. And I'll see you again Monday. Bye.